Welcome to another SourceFuse's Talking Out Cloud, our Friday Leadership Chat series. My name is Liz Grint, Marketing Manager here at SourceFuse. And if you're unfamiliar with SourceFuse, we're a leading provider of bespoke, secure, and scalable solutions, transforming the way companies modernize and migrate to the cloud and help them achieve business goals at speed. We recently sponsored and organised another Jax Tech meetup event where technologists, entrepreneurs, IT professionals and innovators in and around the Jacksonville area get together to learn, share insights and collaborate. This time we took a deep dive into the world of enterprise data and analytics, where we heard from Michael Privat, Vice President of Digital Cloud Migration from well-known local enterprise Availity. And Michael joins me today to tell us a bit about what Jax Tech means to him and how cloud technology has contributed to the company's success. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Liz. Really nice talking to you. I look forward to exchanging with you.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Good to have you here. So before I ask you about the recent Jax Tech event, perhaps you could start by telling us, the audience, a little bit about Availity.
Sure. So fundamentally, Availity connects healthcare providers, so that doctors and hospitals, with health insurance companies. So imagine this enormous network where the vast majority of doctors and hospitals in the US are sort of interacting with each other, and hundreds of insurance companies. Then what that really means is, we're sitting at the crossroad between many actors in the healthcare industry. And basically, we make exchanging data between all of them a lot easier, whether it's through, system to system, like medical practice management systems. When you go to the doctor, you see them typing in their system, or even an enhanced experience with a web application that we call Availity Essentials.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Michael. So digging into Jax Tech a little bit, how did you first come to hear about Jax Tech?
So I think simply word of mouth, first of all. Jacksonville is a small big town, or a big small town, however you look at it. One of the nice things about coming to the event really was that I ran into a few old acquaintances I hadn't seen in a while. So, it was really great to reconnect.
That sounds really good. I mean, how would you say that this particular meetup group differs from other network events that you attend?
Well, so you're asking me about the differences, but I'll just start with saying a word first about the commonality with other meetups. One of the things is they're very casual, very friendly, and this one is no exception. Now, one thing that's particular with this one is that it's not really focused on any particular topic, so it's very diverse. You get a very diverse crowd. There have been a lot of fun topics in the past. The venue is also really nice. I think that's really important. It's very unique at the Mosh Museum. Ultimately, the meetups are about bringing people together around fun, common interests. So it's a great networking tool. I love it.
And I'm slightly jealous because I'm based in the UK, so maybe one day I'll get to attend as well. So being one of the nation's largest healthcare data networks, Availity is no stranger to the challenges of big data and security. So tell us, Michael, how did your cloud migration strategy contribute towards extracting real value from your data?
Well, so there are plenty of studies that show how cloud implementations are consistently more scalable, more secure than on-prem implementation, but it implies the implementation is done well. And by that, I mean with strong engineering discipline, which is one of the recurring theme in the talk that I gave. You can't guess your way around into the cloud. You can take the simpler road of using the cloud as a data center and doing sort of a lift and shift, but you're not really resolving any problem here. Security isn't better, reliability isn't better, scalability certainly isn't better. but it's more expensive. And so really what you just did when you do that is you move all your bad decisions into that new space. So you take them with you. So, ultimately you can't just hope for better security on the cloud. Like, hope is obviously not a very good strategy. You have to put in the work. I think the tools are better and they yield better outcome, but just like any other professional tool, even outside technology, you have to know what you're doing for optimum results.
So I like the way you mentioned hope there. It's not a wing and a prayer strategy.
That's a losing strategy if it's a strategy.
So for other large enterprises like yourselves that may have concerns or some reservations about moving to the cloud, what would your advice be for them?
Well, for starter, there's plenty of standard advice out there on the internet. And typically people will say things like, get executive alignment. That's 100% correct. If the C-suite isn't with you on the cloud migration, you'll definitely fail. So, what the real question you're asking me here, I think, is how do you get the C-suite on board sort of unequivocally, irrevocably? Because without it, it's just simply not going to work. So if you're going to embark on a cloud migration, you definitely need to solve for this. And really, it's solved by doing a few things. By far, the most important to me is educate yourselves, educate your team. Completely critical. There's no shortcut here. I've seen people take that shortcut and it inevitably ends badly. You just don't want to surrender your thoughts to a third party. So educate yourself. You need to own the strategy. You need to own the sort of the larger tactics that enable the migration, because at the end, it's a big choreography, and you need to know how to direct this. I would also advise people to not make this a technology-only effort, right? You don't want to do cloud for cloud. You want to do it for a reason. Now, obviously, you can always go back and say, demonstrate the value in reliability and security and scalability. And those are definitely, technology sort of things. But there are also new opportunities on the cloud. There's faster implementations. You got access maybe to big data analytics tool that you didn't have before. We use AWS and they provide all sorts of natural language processing tools and so AI tools that are ready to use out of the box. There's also all kind of opportunities to improve processes. Bottom line is the cloud isn't just a data center, and you can't treat it that way or else you're going to fall short. There's also huge value, frankly, that can be drawn from the mere fact of doing such a massive shift, which is simply the opportunity to correct old mistakes, just redo things with hindsight, the things you wish you had known back then. Well, you know them now and you're doing it over. So, do it right, which goes back to, educate yourself, know what to do. That's very powerful, very valuable for the C-suite. Of course, it implies that you know how to recognize mistakes. And one last thing I'll say about this. You could tell that I could actually talk all day about this, but I'm going to try to keep it short. One thing that's very important is you have to mean it. You can't start and not finish, because you don't want to be stuck like a lot of these other companies out there in the sort of forever hybrid world where you have 1 foot in on-prem and 1 foot on the cloud. That's extremely expensive. It's very inefficient. It can only be a transient phase. So use your momentum to get across. The bottom line is you have to be aggressive about it.
That's amazing. There was lots of advice in there. So getting the buy-in from the top level, really getting the organization ready. So organizational readiness, and really knowing what your end point wants to be, your long-term vision, your objectives, and how you know that you actually get there.
Yeah, typically, companies have a sort of an immune system that kicks in when you're bringing change. And this is a dramatic change. So, the immune system goes in full force and you got to be ready and, I don't know how to deal with this.
I love that immune system kicks in. And lastly, Michael, in your opinion, what does the future hold in terms of healthcare data storage, and there's masses of it, security and leveraging analytics?
Well, So I think intuitively, everyone knows that, there's more and more information flowing through all these interconnected systems. That's obvious. And at Availity, we're deeply committed to making sure that we keep all of that information secure, obviously. And frankly, the cloud provides a lot of tools that we didn't have before to add more layers of security. But you're right, analytics is a big topic. One of the big reasons to go to cloud is access to the required scale to be able to do machine learning, to be able to do analytics. So you'll see that there will be a lot of new use cases that come out of this to improve the healthcare system in general. There's a lot of insights that we can get from the data to make it better. In our case, we're merely custodians of the data that we host, right? So we're doing a lot of work to partner with the various health plans, the healthcare providers, and all the other data owners. These are the people who own all this data. We're collaborating daily on creating useful analytics and machine learning models that will improve their workflows, but also their data accuracy. I think the value that we're collaboratively creating for the healthcare industry, and all of this is ultimately in the service of the patients. Using all of this data to create better insights is the most important purpose is making the patient's journey through our healthcare system more efficient with better outcomes. So yes, big surprise. I predict that data will play an ever-growing role in the future in the healthcare industry for sure.
Yeah. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing some of your insights on not only Jax Tech, but the world of big data.
Well, thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
And as always, thanks to our audience for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below and the bell so you get notification each time we post a new video. And join us again soon when we'll be back with another Talking Out Cloud with SourceFuse.